Story 1. It was a cold, dark night, much like any other in the small town of Millbrook. The streets were deserted, the only signs of life emanating from the flickering lights of the local Walmart. As the clock struck midnight, the night shift workers began their duties, unaware of the horrors that awaited them within the store's shadowy aisles. Among them was Sarah, a young cashier with a penchant for the supernatural. She had heard rumors of strange occurrences within the store, whispers of ghostly figures wandering the aisles after hours. But Sarah dismissed these tales as nothing more than the product of overactive imaginations. Little did she know, she was about to come face to face with the truth. As the night wore on, Sarah found herself feeling increasingly uneasy. The once familiar aisles seemed to twist and contort in the dim light, casting eerie shadows that danced across the walls. She tried to shake off the feeling, chalking it up to exhaustion and lack of sleep. But deep down, she couldn't shake the sense of dread that hung in the air like a thick fog. It was during a routine restocking of the canned goods aisle that Sarah's worst fears were realized. As she reached for a can of soup, she heard a soft whisper emanating from the darkness. Startled, she froze, her heart pounding in her chest. She glanced around, but the aisle was empty save for the towering shelves of merchandise. Brushing off the incident as a trick of the mind, Sarah continued with her duties, albeit with a newfound sense of unease. But as the night dragged on, the whispers grew louder, more insistent, as if beckoning her deeper into the labyrinthine aisles. Unable to ignore the voices any longer, Sarah followed their siren call, her footsteps echoing through the empty store. With each step, the air grew colder, the atmosphere thick with an otherworldly chill that sent shivers down her spine. Finally, she came to a halt before a nondescript aisle, its shelves lined with dusty boxes and forgotten merchandise. It was then that she saw it. A figure, hunched and shrouded in darkness, its eyes burning like coals in the night. Frozen in terror, Sarah could do nothing but watch as the figure slowly emerged from the shadows, its form shifting and contorting with each step. It spoke no words, but its intent was clear. It was not of this world, a restless spirit trapped between the realms of the living and the dead. Desperate to escape, Sarah turned to flee, but it was already too late. The figure lunged forward with unearthly speed, its icy grip wrapping around her like a vice. And as the darkness consumed her, Sarah knew that she would never escape the horrors that lurked within the haunted aisles of Walmart. To this day, the residents of Millbrook speak in hushed tones of the night shift nightmare, a cautionary tale of what lies beyond the veil of reality. And though the Walmart still stands, its aisles now haunted by the echoes of the past, none dare to venture within after the sun sets, lest they too become lost to the darkness that dwells within. Story 2. The town of Ridgewood had always been a quiet, unassuming place, nestled snugly between rolling hills and dense forests. Its residents lived simple lives, content with the familiarity of their surroundings and the comforting routines of small-town living. But beneath the surface of this idyllic facade lurked a darkness that few dared to acknowledge, a darkness that would soon engulf the town in a wave of terror and despair. At the heart of Ridgewood stood a Walmart, its sprawling aisles and towering shelves a beacon of commerce in an otherwise tranquil landscape. It was here that the residents of Ridgewood gathered to purchase their groceries, household goods, and all manner of necessities. But as the sun dipped below the horizon and the moon cast its silvery glow upon the town, the Walmart transformed into a place of dread and uncertainty. Among the employees tasked with maintaining order within the store was Jack, a seasoned veteran of the night shift. For years, he had patrolled the aisles and stocked the shelves with unwavering dedication, never once questioning the strange occurrences that seemed to plague the store after hours. But as the whispers grew louder and the shadows grew longer, Jack could no longer ignore the truth that lurked within the depths of the Walmart stockroom. It began with a series of strange noises, soft whispers echoing through the empty corridors, the creaking of floorboards beneath unseen footsteps, the faint rustling of merchandise being moved by invisible hands. At first, Jack dismissed these sounds as nothing more than the product of an overactive imagination, but as the nights wore on, he began to sense a malevolent presence lurking just beyond the edge of perception. One fateful evening, as Jack made his rounds through the stockroom, he felt a cold chill run down his spine, a sensation unlike anything he had ever experienced before. He glanced around, his heart pounding in his chest, but the stockroom was empty save for rows upon rows of neatly stacked boxes and crates. Just as he was about to dismiss the feeling as a trick of the mind, Jack caught sight of a shadowy figure lurking in the far corner of the room. It stood perfectly still, its form obscured by the darkness, but Jack could sense its eyes boring into his very soul, a presence both ancient and malevolent, stirring with a hunger that could not be sated. Frozen in terror, Jack could do nothing but watch as the figure slowly emerged from the shadows, its features twisted into a grotesque parody of humanity. Its eyes burned with a fierce intensity, its mouth curled into a wicked grin that sent shivers down Jack's spine. With a sudden burst of speed, the figure lunged forward, its skeletal fingers outstretched like claws ready to rend flesh from bone. Jack stumbled backward, his heart pounding in his chest, but the figure was relentless in its pursuit, its unearthly wail echoing through the empty corridors like a banshee's lament. Desperate to escape, Jack fled into the labyrinthine aisles of the stockroom, each turn leading him deeper into the heart of darkness. But no matter how fast he ran or how far he went, the figure was always close behind, its presence a constant reminder of the horrors that lurked within the depths of the Walmart stockroom. As dawn broke over the horizon and the first rays of sunlight pierced the darkness, Jack stumbled out of the stockroom and into the safety of the main store. His clothes were torn and tattered, his body bruised and battered, but he was alive, a survivor of the horrors that lurked within the shadows. But Jack knew that his ordeal was far from over. The figure still lingered within the stockroom, its hunger for blood and chaos insatiable. And as the residents of Ridgewood went about their daily lives, oblivious to the terror that lurked just beneath the surface, Jack could only wonder when the phantom would return to claim its next victim. For in the heart of Ridgewood, beneath the flickering lights of the Walmart stockroom, a darkness had been unleashed. A darkness that would consume the town in a wave of fear and despair, leaving behind only whispers of the horrors that once dwelled within. Story 3. In the heart of Cedar Hollow, nestled among the towering pines and whispering winds, stood the abandoned Walmart Supercenter, a relic of a bygone era, its once bustling aisles now silent and empty, haunted by the echoes of the past. For years, the residents of Cedar Hollow had avoided the decrepit building, its crumbling facade a stark reminder of the town's faded glory. But as the sun dipped below the horizon and the shadows grew long, the true horrors of the abandoned Supercenter began to reveal themselves. Among the brave few who dared to venture into the depths of the abandoned store was Emily, a curious soul with a fascination for the supernatural. Armed with nothing but a flashlight and a sense of adventure, she set out to uncover the secrets that lay hidden within the crumbling walls of the Walmart Supercenter. As Emily stepped through the shattered remnants of the entrance, she was greeted by a wave of stale air and oppressive darkness. The once gleaming aisles were now shrouded in shadows, their shelves barren and decrepit, the only sounds echoing through the empty corridors the soft rustle of dried leaves and the distant creaking of ancient timbers. Undeterred by the eerie atmosphere, Emily pressed on, her footsteps echoing through the silent halls as she ventured deeper into the heart of the abandoned Supercenter. But as she wandered through the labyrinthine aisles, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched, that unseen eyes followed her every move, lurking just beyond the edge of her vision. It was then that Emily stumbled upon a series of strange symbols etched into the floor, a labyrinth of arcane runes and sigils that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. Drawn to the symbols like a moth to a flame, Emily reached out to touch them, her fingers tingling with a strange sensation that sent shivers down her spine. As she traced the intricate patterns with trembling hands, Emily felt a sudden chill run down her spine, a sensation so intense that it seemed to pierce her very soul. And as she looked up, She saw them. Shadows, creeping along the edges of her vision, their forms shifting and twisting in the darkness like tendrils of smoke. With a sense of mounting dread, Emily realized that she was not alone, that something lurked within the abandoned supercenter, something ancient and malevolent, stirring with a hunger that could not be sated. Desperate to escape, she turned to flee, but it was already too late. The shadows converged upon her with unearthly speed, their icy grip wrapping around her like a vice. And as they dragged her into the depths of the abandoned supercenter, Emily knew that she had stumbled upon something far more sinister than she could have ever imagined. For in the heart of Cedar Hollow, beneath the crumbling facade of the abandoned Walmart supercenter, a darkness had been unleashed. A darkness that hungered for the souls of the living, its tendrils reaching out from the shadows to claim its next victim. And as the sun rose over the horizon, casting its golden light upon the deserted streets of Cedar Hollow, the residents whispered in hushed tones of the horrors that lurked within the abandoned supercenter, tales of ghostly encounters and creeping shadows that would haunt their nightmares for years to come. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment and turn on notifications if you enjoyed the video so you never miss an upload.